The mainstream media like CNN and MSNOW have lost control of the national narrative machine. The new media, led by independent journalists on X, have found their way of exposing crime and corruption. The newest target of the Nick Shirley-style documentation of possible criminality in the wide open? Well, it's none other than Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar. And now she's the subject of investigation.
E Street Crew does not make wine here. They were a client many years ago and have ceased operation.
Hello folks, welcome back to the channel that continues to give you the news you need to know ahead of schedule and before the drive-bys even get a whiff of it, a sniff of it. We're right on time. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a happy Friday documentation of the new media taking over yet again. Now, I need to remind you as you click the like button, and I know you will do that for us, surely you'll do that for us, that Nick Shirley started this thing where independent journalists go up, not in the Don Lemon style of disrupting things, but simply going up to the facade, to the entrance of a building and saying, hey, is this a legitimate business? For a reminder, here's Nick Shirley, here's what he was doing, and I'm going to show you how this is now being used, and it has absolutely broken open a major investigation into Ilhan Omar. Here's Nick Shirley.
We left and we headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home health care providers operating from inside of the building.
Right here you have multicultural home care. And right here it says it's open, but can't even get in. Another Reliance Recovery Center. Mercy and Grace Care, Inc. Right here you have Den Eritrean Youth Development Association of Minnesota. Another child care center. Welcome to Bright Beginning Center. But what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Sorry.
So you know the style, you know what's been happening, right? Well, it turns out that Nick Shirley has inspired a vast army now of independent journalists armed with their cameras on their cell phones and other things. Get them a fuzzy lapel and let them go to town. That's the story. Well, folks, they have uncovered something huge, something massive that is shaking up Congress. First of all, I want to show you the lamestream, going extinct, dinosaur media cannot stop this anymore. CNN, MSNOW, they love Ilhan Omar. Representative Ilhan Omar, they love her. Here's a simple playlist of her. Quick update as to how she gets treated when she goes on the cable news channels. And then I'll show you what has been uncovered by independent journalists following the footsteps of Nick Shirley. Don't go anywhere. Here's how they treat Representative Omar when she's on CNN and MSNOW.
One Democrat who has campaigned for and endorsed him is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Would you like to see her primary Chuck Schumer?
I would like to do Alex. I would like Alex to do whatever it is that Alex wants, and I'll be there to support her.
No pushback, no question. She's a rock star, right? Okay. Let's go to right after the passing of Charlie Kirk and how she responded on CNN.
I just think it was the video where it called him Dr. Frankenstein and said his monster shot him through the neck. I mean, obviously this is a person, and looking at this is someone who was a husband and a father, and in the days after his shocking death, that happened as a result of his views, or it happened as a result as he was sharing his views publicly with people, that people found it jarring to hear such criticism of that in the immediate aftermath.
What I find jarring is that there are so many people willing to excuse the most reprehensible things that he said, that they agree with that they're willing to have monuments for him, that they want to create a day to honor him, and that they want to produce resolutions in the House of Congress honoring his life and legacy. It is one thing to care about his life, because obviously so many people loved him, including his children and wife. But I am not going to sit here and be judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
No pushback from Collins, no question. Remember, Ilhan Omar is a rock star on CNN and MSNOW. But the problem is that the independent media is out there now. They're running her down. And get ready, because comeuppance has come full force for Ilhan Omar. Wall Street Ape says this journalist visits Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar's winery and confirms it's fake. Folks, I can't make that allegation. I can just read it to you and play the video. But it turns out that the Nick Shirleys of the world have inspired even more Nick Shirleys of the world, and they're out there doing what they do, which is to uncover corruption in a way that surely the FBI could if only it so chose to do so. But here are the new journos going out there, and get ready because this one's going to break open a congressional investigation. Here they are.
So let's see, this is Suite B. Again, that is the address where Ilhan Omar's winery is. You can see that a different winery is here, punched down cellars.
What does this note say?
E Street Crew does not make wine here. They were a client many years ago and have ceased operation. Their operating address is linked to this address like all other client wineries because of state and federal filings. So I wonder what else they have to show for it. What do you think about that?
I think they're just trying to keep as much distance between them and their...
All right, you get the idea, right? You get the idea. It turns out you just got to go and investigate this stuff. Where are the feds? Where is the FBI? Where has the DOJ been? Of course, we understand under the prior administration why this doesn't happen. Folks, the independent journalists, the new media writing into a level of prominence that the legacy media wishes they still had. Things are changing. Changes. New York Post, Stephen Nelson, and Jeff Earl writing this one. James Comer demands business records from Representative Ilhan Omar's husband. And why? Well, because it's time, because the independent journos are here. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is making a rare demand for business records associated with the husband of Representative Ilhan Omar, suggesting that those records may show people buying access. Although it's common for U.S. politicians and their families to rapidly gain net worth, despite modest official pay, Omar and her husband, Tim Minette, are in a mounting storm of Republican inquiries over the newfound wealth. Well, what kind of wealth are we talking about, folks? How much money have they made? Comer's request for documents could be a prelude to a subpoena forcing their delivery. The letter cites a dramatic jump between 2023 and 2024 in the couple's self-reported wealth. Excuse me, I was expecting to say net worth, but it says wealth. With Minette's stake in the two firms worth between $15,000 and $50,000 in 2023, and between $6 million and $30 million in 2024. Wowza, what an increase. What a great investment, eh? That's really something. Well, what about this, folks? Read down here. Quote, I visited the principal address of the ESTCRU winery. This winery is co-owned by the U.S. Representative of Minnesota Ilhan Omar's husband, Timothy Minette, yet seems to allegedly be a shell business used to launder funds, they say. In 2024, they made about $15,000 off this winery, according to this. And in 2025, said winery that nobody can find and may not be producing any wine exploded to $5 million. $5 million from $15,000 the year before, and nobody can find the winery. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Nick Shirley system of uncovering and breaking down corruption has now made it into the mainstream. There's no way these people can hide any longer because the independent journos, once they go to these places, which is exceedingly easy to do, hey, feds, we're looking at you again. Once they do this, guess what? Congress now is following up. Should have been something that was easily uncovered by the U.S. government. Hey, we'll hand it to the independent journals. Now, what does this mean for the legacy media? What does this mean for CNN and MSNOW? It means that there's superstars who may be involved in deep and incredible levels of corruption are going to be under investigation. It means that they're going to be held accountable, perhaps. And once again, folks, you may dislike him. You may not trust him, but Elon Musk buying X has made all this possible. If it were not for X, and I know you all have problems with X. You love it, you hate it. I got it. I understand. Some of you have been removed from it. I'm listening to you. But I'm here to tell you, for all of its flaws, for all of its faults, and for all of Elon's flaws and faults, were it not for him and were it not for X, none of this would ever see the light of day. Independent journalists posting this to X can only do so because X allows it. And because it's not being shadow banned, and because it's putting pressure on the other platforms to also allow conversation about it, lest everybody go to X and leave all the other places in the dust, then Congress and the U.S. government must follow up on this stuff because it's now trending, because people now care, because people want to know what the heck is going on. And so, despite the fact that somebody like Ilhan Omar can go on CNN or MSNOW and face almost no scrutiny whatsoever, no pushback, she's going to face pushback in the extreme, as it turns out that all you need is a cell phone. All you need is a little cell phone camera. You got an iPhone, you got a Samsung, whatever you got. You don't have to have a big crew. You don't have to have all the big fancy stuff. You don't have to have a grip. You don't have to have a mic. Just a cell phone will do. And you can go out there and be a journo. Not a Don Lemon kind of journo. Don't go breaking into church services. That's crazy, right? But you can show up to a business, to a facade. You can go up to a little shanty with a door and say, excuse me, who might be the owner of this business? Is this a legitimate business? You can do that. I'm not recommending that all people do that, of course. Most of you have jobs and you got to do your JOBs, and I understand that. But for those who are so inclined to uncover the corruption, there has never been a better time, because the doors have been opened, the floodgates are here, and now we can all find out what's really going on. And these people who act so atrociously when it comes to even honoring basic etiquette for people passing away, it turns out that they might not be such great people after all. Who would have thought, right? But the same people who will mock and laugh as people are taken out of this life, they're the same people, perhaps, who in their own private lives are engaged in incredible levels of corruption and, dare I say it, evil. And now it's being exposed. Go, new media, go! We're part of it, we love it, and we'll keep going and going, folks, covering it and giving you the news you need to know. Ladies and gentlemen, you can help send this video far and wide by clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts about all of this. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Hey there, I'm Wilton. I've taken on a new role at the Sunny Florida travel agency. If you use my travel agency, I promise with my little troll heart that you and me can hang out at the Fountain of Nations at Epcot at Walt Disney World. I can also hook you up on a good deal for water at the parks too. Send me your Walmart gift card codes now. Hey, Floral. What are you doing here? I'm trying to do an advert.
Couple things. This is quite literally a scam that you're trying to run on WDW Pro's channel.
What?
Folks, look. This is a green screen, and Wilton stole a B-roll from Pro.
Wait, are
Wilton
you
lives
for
in
real
Canada
right now?
and doesn't even have a passport.
Have I ever scammed anyone that you know of before?
Yep.
There's not a Fountain of Nations anymore. Details are for the weak, Jose. Besides, I've got a bunch of Pro's audience that still think that Lauren has hair. Oh, we got this.